we have intended actually with the project MICADO was building a kind of digital Uber, but a digital Uber who is available and responsive, ideally to everybody who comes to European cities at any time in any place in Europe. So that's a little bit the ambition that we were following with MICADO, and the overall target is really simply explained. We wanted to build an integrated, a very comprehensive IT solution, a platform that facilitates migration processes, migrant integration processes, with good communication, with cooperation across all the necessary stakeholders, and with all the tools, with all the power, with all the magic that we can find today in digital technologies. And in order to do so, we have to enable the connection between the different players, the actors, the institutions, build up a communication, a cooperation, and a collaboration system. That, in a nutshell, was the ambition of MICADO. And we have assembled a fantastic consortium to work on that slightly ambitious topic. So for the last almost 4 years, 4 cities, the pilot cities, Antwerp, Hamburg, Bologna, and Madrid, have established local teams, each of the local teams bringing together research institutions, public authorities, but also practice partners from the social authorities and from the different types of integration work, researchers from innovation, from migration, from social sciences, but also people who can really write the code, who can do the interface design, who make the thing look good and useful in the end. So this is our consortium, and we have met, we have researched, we have developed and implemented tools. So we started with fundamental research kind of thing into social research, into migration studies. We have thought about how to converge the multiplicity of demands for cities, multiple institutions. So there's a lot of diversity of demands and requirements, but we have learned and we have written certain kind of documents and books, how to converge, how to bring these things together. And finally, everything that was coded was put on the web, was made available, is documented to whoever wants to look into and further the solution as a kind of digital application in a new context. We were looking into how can we create value, how can we create help and benefit in the several application cases, help cases if you want. People need housing, people need education, people want to find work. And what kind of support by a system, by a digital system can be delivered? Well-edited information, finding the necessary information, the necessary data that you need, having guidance, and if possible, if useful, profile, customize the system to yourself so that it's really a personal one. So this is possible, and this was the ambition on a technical level. And then we were looking through the eyes of the 3 main target groups. So the first target group, the public administrations, those who have an official mandate to talk and to work with migrants, the local communities, the NGOs, the civil society organizations who have a strong input in making arrival, making migrant integration successful, and of course the migrants themselves, the people who are there, who are arriving in the cities and who need help and orientation. And for each of these 3 target groups, we have an individual application. So each of them looks into his own world, has his own MICADO cosmos. These applications are on the web. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to install anything. It's there. When you get connected, you can use MICADO right on the spot. Importantly, that these 3 different applications are one system. It's one platform. It works together with one database in the back end. So we have only one server who pushes the information there and throw into one single source of information. And in the back end itself, we can play out the magic, as I said before, of data science. Here we can have the data banks, here we can have the management of parallel software development, so when we have multiple developers working in different countries, so that it's not becoming a mess, but it's coordinated. We can manage the identities, and one of the most important things most probably is managing languages. We have implemented certain solutions that enable to bring MICADO in many languages, so that we can, without much ado, really implement new languages for the content that is already prepared by the authorities. Talking about languages, there's also one code language. Yeah, we did not mess around with multiple systems, with multiple software programming languages. It's all written in JavaScript. There's one framework called Vue.js, and this serves all the different operation systems. It serves the 3 different applications. So the developers who want to sit into MICADO and develop further, they find a beautiful and a clean environment for development. The apps themselves, or the one app or the one platform, is really comprehensive. When you jump into it, you find a lot. If you look into the migrant application, we will have a live demonstration later on that you can see how it feels, how it works. You get a lot of basic information prepared in a way that you first of all have a quick access, that you can understand what is in there, not too complicated, low threshold. Then we list up a lot of edited information that we source from a multiplicity of providers, of sources. So MICADO is one point of access for many information sources that may be relevant, that may be important. Then we have these step-by-step processes. I arrive somewhere, what do I have to do first? What do I do next? How can I get somewhere? And finally, we can implement in those places where it's possible in terms of data safety and where it is wanted, also individualized integration plans. My plan to arrive in Brussels, my plan to arrive in Hamburg. Personal configuration possible, not necessary. We have cases in the MICADO project where the personal data treatment was disabled, also okay, depending on the local conditions. When you look in the authority app for the public administration, you will find the software that enables to design these processes that the migrants will see and follow later on. We have dashboards, we have collectors of information that allow you an overview of the overall migrant situation in the city, in Europe, in the world. And then we have the interfaces that enable to manage the translation work of the many languages in the many free applications. So, and these functionalities can be enabled and disabled. We have seen that the 4 pilot cities have a different set of applications or functionalities selected according to their specific needs, according to their context. We have set up, and Melina Breidenegger will introduce this later on to you as well, an online marketplace, the place where those who are interested in using or developing MICADO later on can gather, they will get help, they will get a contact. So this is our MICADO marketplace, and there you will get information about the licensing scheme. If you want to pick up MICADO, develop it further, what kind of license is applied to it, so that it's not a proprietary software, but it's an open one. It's something that can live on even without us, the MICADO team. That we have done some uptake work, so the numbers you can see here, I indicate this very impressive one. So we have reached out almost to 500,000 people already. At least so many people have heard about MICADO, they know about MICADO. We can't say exactly what do they do with it, but we have collected, as a data science project, some data about our own project, some kind of self-monitoring. But what we are doing right now most prominently is bringing MICADO to the local context, ensuring the local uptake. The platform itself is running since 1 year, so it's active, and now we have to spread the word, transmit the good message that there is a solution that may be helpful in the